How y'all doing out there? It is cold out there today. It is so cold. We're in Oklahoma here and trying to survive this cold spell, but a lot of you people up north are like, this is just normal. This ain't nothing, you know. I don't know if they're saying between 2 to 12 inches of snow. I would be like, yeah, probably more on the 2 side, but we've already got probably an inch already on the ground or so and everything else, but 2 inches isn't too bad, but 12 inches, that'd be, yeah, that's crazy. We've had it before and everything else. I'm hoping we don't get it like that, but we are down to about 12 degrees outside, so yeah, that's not my likings of weather out there. Anyone want to jump in or anything? Have anything to say, start a conversation, whatever and everything. But yeah, it is cold out there and it is freezing. So I'm just trying to stay warm. I just decided not to work at the store today. I'm going to case some movies up while I'm talking to you guys, get them ready for the store and everything. Got to keep everything in order here. But this is what I do on my days off when I have nothing. When I got things to do, I just keep going at it. Uh-oh, I'm already not in order. Something ain't around here. Oh, there's the rest of it. So hopefully I can get back in order here with my movies, because some fell off the top, it looks like, but I think we got them in order. If not, it's going to take me days to sort this stuff out, because I've got about 750 movies just balled up in stacks right here that I've got to put the covers with and the other stuff. So yeah, it's going to be fun, because I replace a lot of the cases at the store for the broken stuff and everything, and then we put them out, and these are my dollar movies that I'll be selling for $1 and everything. But definitely want to try to stay warm and everything. But yeah, that's the fun of owning a business, is I gotta bring stuff home and do it all the time and everything else, and I have never have the time to catch up on the stuff I'm doing and everything. And so my wife gets to do a lot of that. She's really good at that, and I appreciate all the help she gives me. She does everything she can, and she keeps going. She's just non-stop, because it's not just me she's trying to help. She's got her mother she takes care of. She's got the kids that she helps out and everything. And then you got the grandbabies to take care of and everything. So it's a lot and everything. And then when she went out to go out earlier, her wiper was stuck to the windshield. And they had the car in the body shop, because after her accident, it had like $12,000 in damages. And the front, they had to take the whole front off the car. They had to take the windshield out, wipers, all that stuff off the car. And I think when they put the wipers back on, they didn't tighten it up real good. So the one went, phew, but the other one kept going like this. The other one just went, whoop, and that was it. So she came back and she's like, what happened here? I'm like, oh, great, it broke. Yeah, that's lovely. New car, we get all kinds of stuff. But it's under warranty. But I'm hoping it's just to tighten a screw and she'll be good to go. The only problem is I don't want to mess with it in this cold for a little while. So, yeah, that's all going to be fun. But because I think, like, right now it's like down to 12 degrees outside. Tomorrow I think the high is like 13 or 14. And the day after that. So, and it seems like the highs are going down lower and lower and lower each time as it gets closer that it's going to be there. So if anyone has any comments or questions or anything, just holler at me. You know, down in Oklahoma here, we always, they close up everything when it gets cold and everything. They don't have too much open. I mean, the highway's closed down here right now for ice and everything. I know in South Dakota, when it gets to the point where you can't see the highway, that's about the time they close it up. But until then, they leave it running and everything like that and everything. I mean, I miss the North. I really do. I miss Michigan. I miss all that stuff, except for when it comes to this time of year. I hate it. Then that's like we were going to go up to Jersey last month and everything, and the weekend we were going to go up, which we decided not to. They had a big old storm up there and everything, so we didn't miss the snowstorm, but I did miss the reunion up there with the VSQ crew for the Mallrats 30th edition. But, you know, right now I'm trying to focus on this store and get it together and get stuff done, because then it'd be a lot easier, because then all I have to do is bring in the stuff and be like, hey guys, check out what I got today, you know, and everything else. I think that'd be fun to do. And like if y'all want to be a guest or anything, and you got something cool you want to show, autographs, you got toys at home, I don't know, just a cool find, anything, something your grandfather passed down to you, anything. I think that'd be cool just to get on here and show it or whatever. Or if you just want to tell me about it, we can talk about it and everything. That'd be cool. and everything like that, because I've been doing the resale thing for probably 35 years, since I was probably 14. So that's 36 years actually, if you think about that and everything. Hey, beautiful. You trying to stay warm? Huh?
Yeah.
It's cold out there, huh? Yeah, we're having a snow. Is it snowing more out there? Let's put it this way. She came home and not more. I don't even think she was probably home probably maybe an hour. Probably. Huh?
Yeah.
And then the snow was already, the ice was all over the ice. Was all over, caked on the windshield. Couldn't go out without scraping it again and everything. So that's something we're not really used to down here, but you get a lot of that up north and everything. So we're trying to get things done and stay warm and everything else while we can in this nice little fun snowstorm, or whatever you want to call it. It's more like an ice storm with a little bit of snow coming out and everything. So yeah, that's all fun and everything. And then you get that cabin fever staying in. I've already got it, and I've only been home for a couple hours, and I hate it. But that's because I have so many things to do, so little time and everything. So we just keep going at it and going at it, hoping to one day get caught up where we can actually just slow down, enjoy life, and just have a good old time. We do that off and on, but then I get these wild hairs up my butt to start doing this or doing that, and I redid the store, and now I'm redoing the store left and right, putting up this, putting up that, and everything else. And then when it gets warm, we got to go out to the auctions, get some new stuff, and bring it into the store and all that fun stuff. But at the same time, I want to help her get the house put together and done this and that and everything that I've messed up, because I tend to bring home stuff that I shouldn't, and then I got to go collect them up and take them back to the store and get rid of it, so she don't have to deal with all my messes and everything, because I leave. And she's just looking at me going, yes, you are a messy one. I love you. Yeah, so it's just so much fun keeping up with all that. So I try to keep my work at home, or not at home, keep it at work, but when it's cold and everything like this, unfortunately it takes over at home and everything. So it's so much fun, not really, and everything with that. I know you all know that feeling and everything. Someone everyone's joining up. No one's got anything to say, huh? Nothing to say. Well, if you do, jump in there. I'm trying to pay attention and everything. So I remember one year I was driving from Washington to South Dakota with the kids, or actually the kid, Alyssa, my daughter, was in the car, and my heater was not, and she was only like a year old, and my heater wasn't working the greatest, but it was keeping the car warm. But I had blown out a tire on it was a 318i BMW. So if you know anything about those cars, the lug nuts are backwards, so you have to push it up there, find the hole, push it in, and then screw it in and everything. And so I was going back to South Dakota to see my mother and everything, and it was freezing, and there was blowing wind and everything, and I blew the tire right out on the top of the mountain on the highway, and I had to get this tire fixed because I didn't want my kid to freeze to death, of course, and I didn't want me to freeze to death. So I jumped out, and the problem with that is you can't do anything with your gloves on, so you're freezing your hands and everything. So I had to take everything out of the trunk, find the spare tire and everything else, get in there and put it all together, get it all back together, and about froze my fingers off, got frostbite and all that and everything, or the starting to frostbite. And this took me like 30 minutes just to get this tire on, because I do something for like a minute, and I get back in the car for a minute, because it got to the point I could barely feel my fingers and everything. Then I finally got it all together, got the tire on and everything, and you know, the heater's not working the greatest. I mean, it was working good to keep the car warm, but when your fingers are frozen solid, it does not thaw them out real fast and everything. So I'm like trying to thaw them out, get everything done. Then I also had to throw everything back in that trunk and everything else with the broken tire that now is a different shape, and it was just packed to the hilt. So that was an interesting trip that I never want to do again. I have a lot of stories of breaking tires, because like when we were in Florida, we went down to Florida with my truck and my big old trailer because my grandfather had passed away and we were clearing out the house. Well, after we had filled it up and everything, I mean, it was the truck was sitting there like that. It was pretty full. And so I went into the gas station. My wife and daughter were standing out at the truck, and all of a sudden they come running in and everything, and they're like, we thought it was gunshots, but the tire blew up on the truck because it went boom, and they went running scared, not even sure what the heck happened and everything. And I go back out, and 2 police cars pull up to the pumps out there. I'm like, what are they doing? Looking for gunshots or whatever? I'm not even sure what they were doing. But they sat there the whole time. I changed the tire and everything. And so now I didn't want to leave or go anywhere because we had these 2 cops out there talking like they were wondering, what was that big old boom and everything? And I didn't want to get pulled over and them go, hey, you know you got too much weight in here. Because I already knew I had too much weight in there. Because, so right after we did that, we left and we finally got on the road. It took us a couple hours. We were there, got the tire changed and everything. And then we went down, and by we got to the border of Florida, and we were getting ready to head out of Florida, we stopped at this tire place, and they got me some heavyweight tires on that truck and everything, so we didn't have to worry about it, because I think we blew out like 2 tires on the way there too and everything. I have bad chance with tires because I run them till the rubber falls off and everything. And but yeah, that was an interesting trip. We went up one way and we came back through Arkansas, and I'll tell you what, through Arkansas from Fort Smith, I think, to somewhere in Oklahoma, even before Fort Smith, I think it's halfway into Arkansas, the roads are just so boom, 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 boom. So halfway through the trip, we were just trying to get through and everything else. And I'm only going about 70 miles an hour because I don't want to go too fast and everything and cause issues with the trailer and everything. So I've done that many times. I remember one time I was coming back from the flea market and I blew all 4 of the tires off the trailer. I blew 2 off and I didn't have no spares and I didn't have time to stop. And so I just strapped up the other 2 rims because it wasn't that much weight on it at the time. But I did it and got that all going. And ended up having to get the trailer towed out because I was trying to get up under the overpass so it wouldn't get rained on while I was doing that because the tires were all blown out and everything. And I got stuck in the mud, so we had to have that pulled out. Then I had to replace some parts on the axle and everything else, and the rain and all that fun stuff. So it was an interesting trip. So yeah, anytime you blow out tires and break axles and all that fun stuff and you got to fix them on the road, it's never fun. So, and if it happens like this kind of weather, I think I would I did that one time though. I made the mistake I blew out a tire on a trailer, and I made a mistake of leaving it there in a snowstorm, and I went back, and someone got real brave, and they took off with that trailer during the snowstorm because I didn't have a lock on it. It was gone. I mean, we went and looked everywhere. We were like, okay, was the storm that bad that maybe it blew it off into the sunset or whatever over the cliff or anything? We don't know if someone took off with it or if it landed up over the cliff. But sad thing is it wasn't a very expensive trailer. It was just a small little 12-inch rim trailer with a whole bunch of hangers for my store in it, and that was about it that was in it. So, and if it went over the wind, yeah, it probably disappeared and never found it again with that snowstorm, because we were up in Wyoming and it just... And the next day the snow had melted, so I know it wasn't on the side of the road. We went back looking. I even checked the mile marker, looked everywhere. I could not find that trailer. Called the police. They didn't have anything towed away. So yeah, I lost that trailer and a whole bunch of stuff. But the ironic part about that is we got to the other half of Wyoming, blew the engine in the van, so I had to have that towed back to Rapid City, South Dakota, which cost me about $700 back 20 years ago. Yeah, so I would hate to think how much that would cost nowadays, because it's like $3, $4 a mile now if you're having stuff towed. It's gotten ridiculous, the price of all that stuff and everything. You don't want to have any accidents out on the road. That's like I watched this Alice, the schoolie bus and everything, and I think, damn, that would be so cool to do that. But my fears are I'm not as good mechanically as I think I am. So then you got those issues. Then you got things, if it breaks down, you can't get the parts for the stuff, then I got those issues. So fear keeps me away from doing stuff like that and everything. With so many vehicles I've had break down and so many mechanics screw me over, I'm just not sure I want to do something like that. I think it'd be cool, but at the same time, not so cool. Kind of scary idea. But I don't have the money to go buy all these fancy vehicles and stuff like that people have for motorhomes and all that stuff. But I think it'd be cool someday, maybe as I get older. But the only problem is, by the time you get the money, you're too old to want to do it. I mean, I had all kinds of plans of things I wanted to do when I was older. I feel like I'm getting older, or not getting any younger, that's for sure. So I just feel like I'm just getting older and older. Just keep on going and everything. So there's all that kind of fun stuff. That's like, I remember one time I was down at the flea market in Texas, and I was coming back, and I didn't even make it out the draw right there, and I went out the side, blew out the brake cylinder, and it was 6, 7 o'clock at night, and I wasn't going to sit on the road and everything, so I waited for probably about an hour or so for traffic to slow down, went to Walmart, got me some brake fluid, and just kept that sucker full, stayed away from everyone, and drove my butt home all the way back to Oklahoma 20 hours later, and a gallon of brake fluid later and everything. But I don't recommend doing trips like that. Very dangerous, not very smart, not very safe and everything. But so I don't recommend stuff like that. But I've done so many stupid trips like that and everything, where I've had to fix stuff up and redneck engineer all kinds of things just to get home. And especially going from the flea market in Oklahoma City to home, from Okmulgee, or to Okmulgee, because they keep it like, there was so much construction out there and everything else, and the road's like this close and everything, and you gotta take that trailer in there, and that's one of those things that always scares me and everything. So I'm always like, don't break a tire, don't break this, don't blow out, don't hurt anything like that and everything else when I'm going through that stuff. So it is what it is. You just keep going and doing it. But tires are getting so expensive now. I just blew a tire on my other trailer, and it's a $75 tire used anymore, you know. And it's just crazy, the price of tires, because I used to go buy these used for 30 bucks all day long. Now it's 50, 60, $75 for a used tire. It's not even, yeah, it's crazy. But like the tires on our RAV4, when we got to replace those, they're $200 each and everything, and you're not going to find them used. And I wouldn't put used tires on that car anyway. The rest of my cars, they're all getting used. I don't care. Especially the BMW, you can't afford them new tires on that and everything else. But I've got one that's giving me issue right now. They said it was at the valve stem where it's leaking and everything, so I got to get that fixed. But it's at the where they have the where it does the weight thing, or it's pounds for, it keeps up with your car. It's the smart thing, so it can tell you if it's got mileage or pressure and all that, the tire pressure thing. I don't know what those things are called right now, because I'm not really thinking about it and everything. But yeah, he said that was bad and it was leaking, so I gotta get that fixed. Had a whole problem with the other side leaking all the time, got that fixed, and now I got the other one leaking. It's just one thing after another with tires. They just never stop leaking, do they? So if anyone wants to join in or has any comments or anything, you know, like to start a conversation about something, anything different and everything. I remember back in the day, I used to love toys and everything. We used to go with my grandfather. He took us to the Children's Palace, like kind of like Toys R Us and everything. I don't know if any of you remember that and everything. And we used to go to this one pizza place that had the Oregons and all that, with the Wurlitzer and all that playing and everything. And it was the coolest thing. Of course, when you're 6, everything's cool and large and everything. And I think last time we went there, I was 8 years old and everything. Fondest memories I have of that is my grandfather. We'd always like, I want to go to the castle, White Castle, to eat. Oh, I hate White Castle. There's nothing like sog burgers and everything else. And so he refused to go there. I finally went there, probably 10 years ago. Finally went to White Castle. They're not too bad. They were cheap. Well, that was 20 years ago, actually, when I went. And they're actually pretty good. Not too bad and everything. Just if they sit in that steamer too long, then they get soggy, like he's talking about and everything. But we used to go to the Children's Palace and everything, go shopping and all that fun stuff. You know, who remembers Showbiz Pizza, the original Chuck E. Cheese type thing? We used to go there and everything. That was kind of cool. All that stuff is disappearing. Chuck E. Cheese is also going away and everything. Everything's just slowly disappearing as we get older. It's a changing world out there. Who knows what's going to be here in 20 years and everything. It's going to be totally different. You know, they figured by now we'd have flying cars and the cars be flying past us. We haven't had that yet, but they're working on it and everything. I'm surprised Mr. Musk hasn't come out with that idea yet, to have a flying car go by. I mean, you got all kinds of things in the works and everything. I don't know how it's all going to be. I'm not too hip on all this electric charge and stuff yet. I'm having a hell of a time just keeping my phone charged half the time. So if I have that problem already, I don't think I'm going to be able to keep a car charged. Probably not. And everything, especially as much as I like to travel. So we'll see how that goes and everything. So how y'all enjoying your day out there? Not much to do out there because you can't really get out because it's so cold. And everything, got snow coming down and everything freezing and everything. I bet you my windshield, I've only been home for about 2 hours, but I bet you my windshield's covered in ice caked on and everything. So, but I'm hoping by the 1st of April, I'm hoping in the next few days, once one of the snowstorms here, to get the last of these movies caught up so I don't have to go back to the store and be like, oh, I got all these movies to do and everything, so we can start taking stuff and putting it together, start putting some shelves together, start showing you how it is to put a store together and all that stuff. I've done my own stores. I've worked for stores, put stores together and everything. When traveling, we went to Oregon and put Lowe's together out there. I've done one in Tulsa here. We've done them in New York and Virginia and stuff. Now, I was supposed to go traveling with them and go to Texas and go all over and do all these sets up for Lowe's and everything. But I decided I wasn't going to go, and I kind of regretted it at the time, but then I did this other stuff. So, I mean, life turns out the way we want it. But I didn't go because I wanted to stay with my daughter and everything, because at the time, that was 9 years ago. So she was like 9, 10 years old. Now she's 19 and everything. So now it's a little bit different, but now I'm older and I don't want to go traveling like that, working and everything, because it hurts so much. But who knows? If the economy doesn't straighten out, I might have to close up the store and take off and go do some traveling and stuff like that, because you know we all got to make a living and everything. I don't expect this TikTok thing to make very much. I just do it for fun and everything else, and if it takes off, it takes off and everything. I don't see it doing anything for a month or so until I actually start getting into the store doing the stuff I actually want to do and everything. But hopefully after it warms up, we'll actually get out there and get more stuff done and everything. But I'm changing everything around. Moved the big store, or the little store, into the big store and everything. Got things spread out, trying to make it look more accessible and stuff and everything. I don't know how many of you own your own business and everything, but there's so many different businesses out there you can own and everything. But if you do, you know how hard it is to run your own business and everything. Just keeping up with paperwork can be a full-time job. Doing this and doing that, everything's a full-time job. Just doing this here, hell, keeping up with TikTok is a full-time job even and everything. But just keeping up with these movies and everything, that's a full-time job for now. But once that's done, then it won't be so big and everything. I just got to get everything cleaned out of my storages, get caught up on the maintenance and everything, and then it'll be back to rolling, because I just don't, everyone be like, hire someone. I don't want to hire people, because I've hired people and it just seems to always go bad, and they always seem to disappear with stuff or something like that. And my trust issues are so bad anymore. I mean, that I just don't trust a lot of people to help me. I had a guy helping me with my eBay. He messed it up so bad that I'm not allowed to sell on eBay anymore. And I tried to work it out with them, let them know, and they just wouldn't work with me. So I just gave up on that. I don't really care and everything, but it's okay. I'll do what I can and everything. It's not that big of a deal. We'll just keep going out. I just don't want to do the flea market like I used to, because I used to take a 16-20 foot trailer out there and set up 4 big old spaces. In fact, when my wife had her accident, broke the pelvis, we had 4 spaces out there, but it was actually the size of 8 spaces, and we had everything out, and it was just an exhausting trip. It wouldn't have been so bad except for Friday night. We got hit by the rain and got covered in rain and everything, and so we didn't have a tent. We just had a canopy over us and a few sidewalls, and so the rain just started coming down, and it was just pouring down the side of the hill and everything. And so it was like we were on a life raft, and everything under us was getting soaked. The mattress was getting soaked and everything else. I'm surprised we didn't float down the hill, because back of the thing was at an angle, so we were sleeping like this already, and the rain was coming up and going down, and it coming down the side. And then of course we got a leak in the side of the canopy and everything, so I got covered in it and everything else, and so that was just miserable. And then I had the went and took a shower, got dried up and everything, got cleaned up in the morning, and it all dried up and everything, but the ground was all soft and everything. I had these movie racks, and we tipped all 5 of them over into the ground and everything. I had to pick them all up, and that's about 2,000 movies everywhere, and rain coming down, and we at least we put up the canopies because it might have rained. You know, normally we were going to go out to Canton, Texas, in Canton, down in Texas, but it was supposed to rain that weekend, and my friend had a friend that was down there, and they were talking back and forth, and they didn't have no power down there. They were flooded. They didn't do anything either. So I mean, honestly, I wasted all the money I had, and instead of making money, the money I earned on top of it, I lost that too. So it cost me about $1,200 in pulling the car out of the ditch, blowing the tires. I blew out, I think, 2 tires on that trip, because we blew one on the way getting there. Then we blew one after we got there, actually after we were leaving again. And the guy got me a tire, but he got me a cheap light duty tire, and I blew that out about probably 3 hours away from the spot where we had gotten the tire and everything. So that was interesting. I was so tired trying to get that tire off and everything. Need to invest in one of them battery operated impact wrenches for that, because I'm getting too old to be doing all that stuff and everything. But so we had to get towed out twice out of the mud and everything. The first time we had the tow truck do it, second time had a friend do it and everything. And that right there just makes a good trip go bad real quick, and it just became a nightmare and everything. And all we wanted to do was get home, but then she broke her pelvis and everything, so we ended up having a week in the hospital there. Well, she was having her 7-hour surgery and everything. I went home, and it's a 5-hour trip. Took the dog and her home, or not her. Took the dog in the truck home. Went and got the car, and then tried to take a nap for an hour or so. That didn't happen. So I got back there about the time she was getting out of surgery and everything, because she wanted to make sure I was there, and I was. But it was funny because she made sure. She's like, "I want you to be here when I wake up." Okay, I will be here. And she looks up. Okay, I need something cold. Good night. And that was it, you know. And so I slept the rest of that night and everything. And then from that time on, after that, I pretty much didn't get no sleep in there, because every time I did get to sleep, I had to do something, which I didn't mind. I like taking care of my wife. I love helping her and everything. It got stressful though when you don't have no sleep. You get really, really irritable, and you're trying to do it. Because these nurses, they were like, well, he's got it. We're not going to take care of it and everything else. And so pretty much I was taking care of everything they were supposed to do and everything. But you know what's funny is the hospital still got paid for their stuff. I didn't. Kind of ironic and everything. So we had 3 months of that fun going on. She's happy she don't have that wheelchair anymore. She don't ever want to have that wheelchair again. And everything. Sounds like someone's not too happy and everything. But so that's the kind of fun we get to have and everything. So yeehaw. Sorry for what? Kicking the boxes? How dare you? And everything. So that's pretty much how I'm doing. I just get to put movies away, and after I get off here, I'm probably going to put on my show and just watch it and finish doing some more movies and everything, because my batteries don't stick up too long and everything. And then later on, maybe I'll take you out there and we'll do some cooking and everything, and you'll get to see how I make some spaghetti and everything. My wife hates my cooking, but I love it sometimes. But I pretty much just grab what's around and throw what's in. Sometimes I'll get some extra stuff and everything. Come here, Poopy. Come here. Chewy. Chewy. Come here. Come here, Chewy. Come here, Chewy. Come here, Chewy. Chewy, come here. Why are you acting like you don't know what's going on? Come here. Come here. Come here, baby. Yes, come here. And this is Chewbacca. Chewy, who likes to chew on the carpet lately and chews the edge of it. Yes, you do. And she gets real rambunctious real quick. Oh, there's Mommy. Go attack her. Attack her. Attack her. Get her legs. Get her. Oh, you're so vicious. Oh, so vicious. Yes, she is. She's so vicious, isn't she? She's so lover. Yep. And everything. But there you go. She's being good, actually, right now, because normally she'll be all over you, licking your face and everything else, jumping on this, jumping on that. And she likes to go around the room and try to see what she can pull out and get into. That's like last time I was doing the movies, I had to keep the covers from her. She took off with one of my covers and started chewing on it, which is not cool and everything. But, yeah, that's the kind of fun we have and everything. So, Hopefully it'll warm up and everything. We don't get too much snow, but who knows and everything. So that's about all I got for now and everything. I don't plan out what I'm going to talk about. My wife, she don't do the lives too much. She likes doing videos, but I don't think she cares too much for the lives because she just sits there and goes, he won't shut up. Right, huh? But yeah, I remember the other day she was watching, she goes, man, you talk so fast and everything. It depends. So when I get a thought, it goes like, and when I don't have a thought, I'm just like sitting here going, spinning wheels, spinning the grinds. But you know, if you want to do a live and you're scared to do it, get out there and just do it. It's all you do. You just get out there and do it. Take that chance and do it. You know, some people, they get out there, they make a whole list of, don't chew on my tripod, get out there. See, she's chewing on stuff now. Chewing on my tripod. Don't be chewing on that. Huh? What's ironic is, you know, we have a whole bunch of tea at the store in the bottles. A whole bunch of it. They're in the little bottles. A whole bunch of it under the counter. But I was trying to drink those Snapples, but them lemonade Snapples, I can't drink them. They're too rough for me. But the everything else I'll drink, but the Snapples, I won't drink. So I'm probably going to end up giving those away. I'll probably just give them to Josh if he'll drink them. So you're going to get you some tea? Yeah. And how many spaghettis did you get again the second time? 4 more? Perfect. You don't need anything to eat though or anything? Did you get something for later? Because I know you ain't going to eat my spaghetti. And everything. Love you. Bye-bye. So, yeah. Gotta go get some tea because gotta have that for the snowstorm. Gotta have some tea and everything. So, don't want to be snowed in and not go anywhere. Even though Walmart is maybe 10 blocks away from us. Maybe, if we're lucky. So, but I wouldn't want to walk that either. I still want to walk. But she's still going to have to sit out there for probably 10 minutes and let that thaw out to get the ice off the window. But she always go. And everything. But yeah, I got that big old long scraper and everything. But I don't really use that too often. So, that's pretty much all I got for stories. If no one wants to join in and anyone got any comments about anything, how am I doing? Am I boring you? Y'all sticking around, sticking it out? I don't know. But I appreciate y'all stopping in and everything else. If you want to know more about me and my wife, the accident or anything, we got videos, little reels and everything, or whatever you want to call them, down in our movies and all that. There's one with the truck that tells the story of what happened to her with the door that broke on the truck and how she fell out of the truck and almost got run over and killed. That story's on there, and the story of all kinds of other stuff. And the things we've gone through. There's stuff with, there's videos of her when she had the wheelchair, because that's what started this whole thing. Is I was just documenting and having fun because we didn't have anywhere to go, so we just started videotaping and for our friends and everything, to let them know what we were going on, giving the updates of how she was doing and everything. Because when she broke her pelvis, it was, and she broke her arm also, and her arm will only bend like this anymore because the doctors there didn't even put it in a cast for the first 2 weeks. We were at the hospital actually for 2 weeks, I think, because they didn't put it in a cast for the whole 2 weeks she was there. Didn't even wrap it, didn't do nothing. The day she decides to leave and get out, they decide to wrap her arm and everything. Well, they wrapped it and everything, and then we went back to the doctor and everything. That they decided then after 3 weeks they were going to put it in a cast, and the cast was sloppy cast. It was bad. So we went to another doctor and he said, wow, this is bad and everything. And so he put in a good cast and everything, and it was really good. But the problem is damage was already done. The tendons had already healed in the wrong place and everything had healed up. So now every night I got to sit there and rub out all the tension in her arm and everything here because it gets all knotted up and everything. You got to rub it out here. If you get them knots and you feel where it's tight, you can always rub that out. And the only problem is, if you do, it comes right back after a while. I had to do the same thing with her leg and everything because her leg was doing that, and she was getting so much pain she couldn't even stand it and everything. Couldn't stand to do anything. But a lot of that has healed up now. But then we had the extra accident after that. We were sitting waiting to turn, and someone pulled out of that stop sign and slammed someone's right into us and everything. and that put my neck right back into it because I went through all the healing and everything from my last accident years ago, and it just started it all over again, all the pain and everything. And so I need to get with the attorney and find out about that, because it's just tied up. I had like $60,000 in medical bills, and they're like, we'll give you $12,000 for your settlement. You're gonna give me what? I don't even care. I just want my medical paid off and everything, and pay my attorney's fees, because I know I can't get more than $30,000 unless someone's got a fancy house or something we can go after. But the attorney's been working on this for 3.5 years and still got nothing. So I guess I need to call them and see what's up with that, because the day they opened up Texas, you know, from COVID and everything, so yeah, that tells you how long ago this has been. There was a lot of people out, and I stopped on the highway, and the person behind me did not stop, and I saw them come up, and they just slammed me. And it's a good thing that when they did, that the traffic started moving, because I would have hit that car a lot harder than I did. But it started moving, and they were moving out, and she slammed me right into the other truck. And what's funny about it is, so it didn't leave a lot of damage to the car. It left more damage to my neck than anything. And so pretty much a bubble on the corner and everything. But we got that fixed, and the semi took it out about 3 years ago, with my daughter and my granddaughter and my wife in the car, which that is pinned in the bio, or whatever you want to call it, with the videos and everything. And it totally destroyed that car, because when that semi came up, he didn't hit the brakes. They said, the people that witnessed said he never even hit the brakes. He just kept on going, slammed right into this Nissan Frontier right behind her, took it over the back of the BMW, launched it into the air, shot it over, and literally, so it went whoosh, like this, and then landed upside down like this on the side of the highway, about probably 6 car lengths away from there. Then slammed the BMW into 3 F-150s, totaled them all out. Then they swerved around, came back, and took the semi on head on, slammed right into that semi, and then landed right at the side of the semi. All because he was not paying attention and everything. And so she's had a lot of pain from that and everything else, and finally had the surgery on her neck, got everything taken care of, and then had another accident, and then got that taken care of, and then another accident. It's just like nonstop. It just, people do not, I don't know if we just, I don't know, just sucking in the accidents and everything, because we get in so many accidents. I had a hit and run years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, when my wife was in Texas, and I had the girls in the car with me, my daughter and her friend, and they were probably 15 at the time, and someone had stolen this car, and this other guy was chasing them, and they went flying down the road, and it was in a snowstorm like this and everything, and I'm just going down the road, I've got the right of way and everything, and this car comes flying down the road and runs his stop sign and just slams right into us. Just slams right into us, knocks the whole front of the truck off, knocks the whole side in and everything, and just totally destroyed the whole in front of the truck and everything. And then so I was like, wow, that really messed it up. So I went and asked the people there if I could just park it in their driveway, because they had like this big old wraparound driveway, and they're like, yeah, it's okay and everything, because I mean, it was still drivable and everything. But if you look on, I don't know if I put the video on here or not, but there is a video somewhere of it and everything. But the other car, the tires were flat, the whole front was totally destroyed. Mine was not so bad. Mine was just the bumper, the grill, and the headlights pretty much got knocked off. Theirs, it knocked the front bumper cover off, it knocked the grill off, it knocked the lights out, it pretty much rolled the whole front of the car under the car and everything. And so they, and what's funny about it is they actually, at fault, they said it was the guy chasing them and the other, which I could have filed his insurance too, but I didn't, and everything. But so then they come out to do the thing, and they're like, your truck's only worth $1,000. I'm like, yeah, now it is. I mean, I can get more than that out of the parts. I mean, shit, they were going crazy. So I ended up, I think I paid $3,000 for this truck. And I had to put about $500 into it to redo the alignment and all that, because it busted the rods and messed up some tires and everything. So I put $500 into it, and I put the parts back on, and we did the best we could with it, and got it all rigged up with some wires and everything. It wasn't the best thing, and I ended up selling it for $2,500 still and everything. So it worked out. It just, and then I got the $1,000 back, so I got $3,500 out of the truck and everything. But man, well, no, by the time I had 500, so I got my $3,000 back. But I drove that truck for 5 years straight, no issues with it at all. I love that truck. I mean, other than I hit a deer with it after I had it, and that thing was in perfect condition when I hit the deer. And this is why I was saying I was going to get off here shortly, because my legs are starting to spasm out on me. Oh, oh. I've got my legs curled up here, and when you're old, that don't work out for you so much. So I hit a deer, blew out the what do you call it, the airbag, and twisted up a little bit on the thing, and then knocked a couple of the headlights off, but I wired them up and never had a problem. But then when I got hit again, we had to redo the whole thing again, but this time they busted up all the parts underneath and everything else, so that kind of sucked. And but what's funny, or not really funny, but annoying, is after they hit me, the person in the little car that hit me went running, took off running, and the guy's like, they stole my car, blah, 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 it was my sister's, and all that, and everything else. They were chasing them. So the cop said, yeah, because you were chasing them, it's actually your fault for the accident too, and everything. Which I understand, he was trying to get his stuff back, but you don't be driving that fast when there's snow out. I guess you just don't do it. And so it actually looked like it does outside right now. Sorry, I gotta stand up for a minute. My legs are dying on me and everything. Oh, gotta stand up and stretch this one out and everything. So they went sliding into there and had to take the girls to the hospital and get them all checked out and everything. And so that was crazy and everything. So yeah, always be careful driving in the snow and everything. I remember I was in Utah, and you would think that they would know how to drive out there, some of them, but I don't think they did, because I was down there. I don't know if if you weren't on last live, I was talking about when I was in Utah, but I'll tell you about the snowstorm, and I'll tell you another story. So when I was in Utah, it started snowing and everything, and it just had a blanket of snow, probably a couple inches, but it seemed like the storm said, okay, everyone get off the highway, because all the cars just went, and I'm like driving normal speed going down the road going, it's not even on the road. Why are you not on the road? What, do y'all just swerve just to get off the road, or what you doing? I don't know. Oh, my legs feel so much better. But when I lived in Utah, my brakes went out on my van, but they hadn't gone out. I didn't know anything about repairing cars and doing all this work. I was slowly learning it and everything, because I just, with my autism, it was really hard for me to get involved in things and everything. It still is at times. And that's why my wife is really great, because, you know, we like to hang together, and she's my best friend, and, you know, we like to do a lot of stuff together, and so that works out. So I don't have a lot of friends. I do hang out with some people once in a while, but I don't go out of my way to do things. But if they come into the shop, I love having a conversation, hanging out, talking and everything. I don't know if you saw it live the other day. Everyone likes to have a good time and everything at the shop. But people don't get out as much because everyone's out there working, trying to make that buck, and trying to survive every day. So we don't have a lot of time to hang out and do all that stuff anymore. So like, you see me on the lives, I'm working while I'm doing it, you know. Everyone is, you know, we're all trying to survive, and we don't know what to expect in this world. But I was going to tell you, on the brakes, my brakes went out, but I didn't know they were going out and everything. But I lived right here, and my van was in the back, and there was a house right next to it, which was a store for trains, and I was getting ready to open a toy store, thrift store type thing with an apartment in the back. And so we were living there, and we had all this stuff going on, and it was snowing and everything, or raining or something, so I didn't want to walk. I think it was just raining. So me being the smart guy I am, went around this big old building, comes back around to the gas station, pull in, and my brakes literally went out that quick. There was nothing and everything, and I was pulling in, and there's the front of the windows and everything, and I literally, boom, up the steps because my brakes weren't working. I went up the sidewalk into the front of the store, smashed the windows out, scared the heck out of everyone. Probably they all peed themselves and everything else. And so I was like, yay, this is wonderful. And the only way I got it stopped was I slammed it into gear and everything, so it wouldn't keep going into the store, because if not, I would have been boom right into the middle of the store like, hey, what's up, you know, and that would not have been good, and that probably would have destroyed my life and everything else. I don't know. But yeah, that was some scary stuff. So now we got the shattered windows and everything. And ironically, the guy that works there comes out and goes, "Wow, we just replaced those 3 weeks ago," which I know they had because we had just moved in about a month ago and they had just put the windows in. And he's like, "Don't worry, it happens every other month." So now we know why they have the big steel pillars out in front of the glass. So you don't just go driving in and bam and everything else. It's a protection thing to keep cars from going into the buildings, you know. And I would have never thought about that until then and everything. And I went back there not too long ago, and the 7-Eleven's gone, and it's like a mortgage company or something now. And this train store's gone and everything. And I have a few memories of that. I remember one night, so we got everything done and everything, and yeah, they had to tack it up and everything. What's ironic is I gave them all my information and everything, but I didn't give them my insurance information. So I kept calling the office trying to get with them to give them my insurance information, and they kept avoiding me. Finally, I went back to the store and I said, "Here's my insurance information. Good luck." I don't know if anything ever happened with that. Ironically, that's crazy because this was like 27 years ago, 26 years ago. Yeah, I was young and everything, did stupid stuff and everything. We used to go down to Desert Industries and we would buy up all the cool stuff and everything. You could get like all kinds of little cool cars and everything for, I'm talking about the steel cars that everyone sells for $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 and all that. You'd get them there for like $5, $10. I don't know if it's still like that or not, but you could buy all kinds of stuff. So I go buy little type stuff and everything else, and we sell it and everything. And we had all kinds of stuff like that. We had a big old sale, and I sold it all off right before we left and everything because things just weren't going as good as I wanted them to, and we were having issues and everything. And so that's how we left. And you know, I had some issues with some family and everything taking advantage of me money-wise and everything else. So we just left there and everything. It was pretty much the final straw when they brought us a turkey for Christmas and said, "Oh, here you go." I'm like, "What am I supposed to do with this? You know we don't have gas for our oven yet. We haven't even got it turned on." And they're like, "Well, okay, we'll cook it for you." Well, they waited 3 days and everything. Well, it's thawing out. And then they're like, because I didn't have a refrigerator there yet at the time, I don't think, or something. Or it was in the refrigerator. Oh, it was in the refrigerator for 3 days thawed out. That's what it was. So they're like, "No, it's no good. Throw it away." So we threw it away. But they kept asking us for money and all kinds of stuff. And so we just packed up our stuff and got the heck out of there. And that's how I ended up in Muskogee, Oklahoma first. And then we did a lot of stuff, and I bought a house out there, and that all went crazy with the crazy ex and everything. And so, but I started my stunt in flea markets and all that stuff, so that was really cool. And started learning where to go to buy stuff, how to make money, why to do this and how to do that and everything. And it's a changing market all the time because you always got so much different stuff coming out. And, you know, the younger kids, they like this, the older people like this. And then there's so much stuff that at one time it was really cool, but no one wants it. Like binders, you can't give binders away anymore. You know, anything like cameras and stuff like that. It's just everyone's got it on their phone. They put it all in their computer anymore, folders and all that stuff. I get tons of that stuff. And I try to do a fill bag on it for a while, and if it don't sell, it's going to end up in the garbage and everything, stuff like that and everything. So you can see how my ADHD goes because we were in Utah a minute ago, and now we're here. So, and then eventually I went to South Dakota after Muskogee because there was issues with the crazy ex and everything. So we ended up there, and that's when I went to work for Walmart for 4 years, and that was started out really good for the first 2 years, and the last 2 years it was kind of miserable and everything. And that's how, like I tell everyone, I went to work for the Walmart here in Okmulgee, and because we transferred from the one in Tulsa. And I told them, you know, I have to be out an hour early and do this because of my kids and everything. And they're like, "Okay, no problem." So the first day I went to work and everything, I said I have to leave and everything. Okay. And then I get in the next day and they're like, "Well, if you have to do that again, we're going to fire you." I'm like, "What? That's not the agreement we had," and everything. So if you ever got business and everything, get these agreements in writing because managers always like to pull back on them and everything. So I said, "No, just send me back to the other store. I don't even care." And so there was this little building downtown, little building, and I was looking at it. It was only $20,000 And I was like, well, if they'll take this much down and a payment or something, or, you know, because my realtor, he's like, no, we can get some stuff financed and everything. And so I was like, okay, maybe I can finance that. Well, he's like, well, that building's $20,000. You're going to have to do the electric. You're going to have to do this. You're going to have to do that. You're going to have to do all this stuff to it first. And then if the city allows it. And I'm like, okay, so what do you want me to do? He goes, well, let me look. And he came up with the building that I have now, this big old building. And they had it listed for $30,000, and I offered 24, thinking that it would be like 28. And he just, okay, yeah, we'll take it. And they financed it and everything, because this guy just wanted out. I found out later that I could have dropped it down to about 18,000. He would have jumped on it still. But he was a good guy, and it's a great building, so it worked out, because he paid, I think, $16,000 for it, and that's all he wanted back was his money. He didn't care. So it was a bonus for him when he got the extra. And so I've been friends with, one of my best friends was his son, but he passed away a few years back, and I got to know the family and everything. And his youngest son was the only son that him and his wife had together, was Henry, and he was one of my best friends and everything. And he passed away from diabetes. He had a stroke first, and then he had eyesight problems. He had all kinds of problems, and he just passed away. And he was only 55. I don't even think he was 55, maybe 53 when that happened and everything. So it makes me think about it. And my other friend had diabetes, and he was about 53, 55, and they had cut off his legs and other stuff and everything else because of the circulation and everything. And that's a horrible thing. So always keep that in check and think about that if you have diabetes, especially, because if you're eating too much sugar and stuff, you can get diabetic, stuff like that and everything. But he passed away in his sleep when he was about 53, 55 also. And those were my two best friends at the time. I do still have a couple more friends that I consider my best friends and everything. Don't really see them that much anymore. But these two lived right around here, so I saw them all the time. We did business together. My daughter, when I go to a flea market, when she was like 5 years old, we go into the donut shop, and every day he'd give her them donut holes. Every day she wanted them donut holes. And it was Friday or Saturday and Sunday. We'd go out to the flea market. We'd leave at 3 in the morning. We head out there. We put everything together, make our money, and do all that stuff. She'd have her donut holes, and she'd have a good old time. So we watched all these kids grow up, and a couple of his grandkids have already passed away too, and that's sad because they weren't even that old. One had a seizure, and the other one got shot by someone that, you know, gang violence type thing. Because we do have a lot of gang violence around here still. It's not, I don't know if it's gangs or whatever, but a lot of people just like to, you know, have these little pissing contests and everything, and, you know, or they get mad at each other and they take it drastically and everything, and that's not a good way to live. So I try to live with that. Be good to you know, just be good to people. You know, you never know what people are going through, and you don't know how they're suffering and everything else. I mean, we see a lot more with the lives and videos out there nowadays and everything. But all in all, most of us are just trying to survive. Yeah, there's some psychos out there. There's some crazy people that don't like people. But we try to move them over to the other side here and everything, those users and all that stuff and everything else. So if you have a goal in mind, you just go for it. You know, set your mind. You have to set your mind. If you want to do something, until you set your mind out to it, you're not going to succeed. You have to have that mindset. Because when I decided I was going to do this business, I went for it. And I've had my ups and downs. I've made good money. There's been times where I didn't have squat. Like right now, we're going through a rough time, but it's the winter and everything's going to kick off. It'll be okay. And part of it's my fault for a bad investment, but it is what it is. And we're working through all that and everything else. But a lot of people over these last few years have lost their 401s. They've lost their stocks. They've lost that. My kids lost their stocks when things dropped and everything, and they would just started investing and they lost it. But I told them, don't sell, because you really haven't lost it until you sell, because it can go back up. But if it keeps dropping and dropping to zero, then yeah, you got nothing. You're nothing. So I like the stock market. It's kind of cool, but now I'm trying to learn about this crypto and everything, but my trust issues, I don't trust anyone to do anything anymore, so I don't even know how that's going to work for me. But I'm trying to get things together for the future and everything, because I screwed up once, so hopefully I won't screw up again and everything, but we're working on that, and I'm hoping that things actually pan out with that little mess up and everything. But if you want to do something, like if you got a business, even if you want to do a small business online or something, you got to set your mind to it. Then you got to learn everything you can about it, and then you go with it and try to learn everything you can about it, because the more you know, the better off you'll be. And the main thing is, when it goes like this, don't get too depressed. I get depressed, I get upset, my wife's like, what's wrong? It's not that bad, it'll be okay. And she's right. But at that moment, it feels like the end of the world for you. And so you just do what you can to get through it, and you just keep going and everything. Because there's days where, you know, it's like, like her wiper broke, and I know it's a little thing and everything, but sometimes little things can be so traumatic, especially when you have autism and everything. You know, it can be like, oh, that's the last thing that just made you just go, you know, and everything else. So little things like that just set off your day. Like I was trying to get my phones to work because I have two of them. I have one I use here to do stuff and everything. So I downloaded TikTok on it, and I was going to start doing my messaging and all that stuff while I was waiting for this phone to charge, because for some reason when this phone's charging, it has a mind of its own. It just ding 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 and just starts switching screens and doing all kinds of things. So yeah, that's crazy, and then it's annoying. So I have one that I'm trying to get all the messages done and all my follow backs and all the likes and all that stuff done. So I am working on it. You know, if you're all wondering, I'm working on it every night, and unfortunately I'm spending an hour just doing that. Woo, and everything, and then I'll go back and, you know, check your stuff out and everything. You know, so if you like our content and everything, because we want to get up there to 10,000 and more, we just want to keep going and everything. And as you watch, you know, hopefully the content gets a little bit better, and, you know, you enjoy it and everything. And my wife is calling me for some reason, so let me see what she says here. I don't know for some reason, so let me see what she says here. I don't know. I was talking about. But if you have them goals, set them goals, you know, my friends, they get out, they write out stuff and everything else and all that stuff. I remember Kevin Smith was with Jay, and he's like, man, when we first started doing this stuff, he would get up there and he tried to ad-lib it, and it would just go, and I'm like, you need to write some stuff down so we have stuff to talk about and everything. So Jay has learned how to write it all out, and he's moved up on it, and Kevin's like, I'm so proud of him and everything else. So eventually, when I get time, I want to start doing a little bit more, getting a little bit more figured out what I want to talk about, what I want to do. But main thing I talk about is a store, and, you know, if you got goals and you want to set them, you just got to not give up or anything. But the problem is when you got stuff like, we got doctor's appointments, we got political this, we got this and that and everything else, all the government offices, they make it all so difficult to do anything. And you spend days and hours just fighting with them. Like right now, we are trying to get the okay, for some reason my thing is saying something. No, it got to verify. I guess I've been on too long and it wants me to verify. So I got this puzzle piece thing here going on, and it says inactivity. I don't understand how it's got inactivity when I'm still sitting here talking. But so that's pretty much all I got to say anyway. So y'all have a great day, have a great night, and stay safe. And come on in. How you doing? How you doing? Hi. Say hi. Bye.
Bye.